leaders, kings, presidents. The Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
Good morning there, you're watching QTV this morning and I am Jenna Bosonko. I just hope you had an amazing day yesterday as we all prepare for the OIC Summit, and I'm here with my colleague Ibrahim Abalde, who is excited about the OIC Summit, looking forward. Yes. And I'm happy that Mr. Mboj is here because it's been a while since we actually spoke to him, and just to understand how he's feeling ahead of the OIC Summit and all of that. So it's great that you're here with us. We've missed you so much.
I miss you too.
I'm
not sure about missing Balde.
But you miss me. You. Oh, thank you. Man, mom, thank you so much.
Man, mom, I don't even miss me because I'm not a man. Man can do what they miss. I don't know why.
But anyway, I hope you had a good day yesterday, Ibrahim.
Yes, I mean, Alhamdulillah, it was a good day. I was at the OIC ground. I mean, we are doing a setup there.
Yeah.
To start broadcasting from the OIC ground. Right. Some of the QTV programs, in fact, will be aired from that place. I mean, and I'm also excited to receive my media accreditation.
Nice.
So I will be going in and out, to the OIC grounds without any hindrance or any disturbance from the security. So I'll be happy. So I'll be enjoying. In fact, I want to live the moment. Because I've witnessed it. So from day one, I want to be part of the whole thing until the end, because I don't know when am I going to have the opportunity again. So I would be telling my grandchildren and my children I was at the OIC, and this is my media accreditation.
Oh wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's up?
Yeah, I'm good. I also got my accreditation to be a protocol, and I'm also excited about it.
Oh, protocol, baby.
Yeah, because obviously, with it's good to practicalize, because in Gambia here, most of the things that we do in class is just theory. We just had all the theories of protocol. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. We get to really do exams and pass it. But now, us being in the ground and actually practicalizing the whole protocol thing is actually good for university students. So thumbs up to the OIC for giving university students the opportunity to actually practicalize some of the things that we are learning. So Mr. Mboj, how are you feeling ahead of the big day?
Absolutely. Of course, my first impression was one of relief.
Yes.
Finally.
We're doing this.
Postponed twice.
Yeah.
Would it happen or would it, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So finally, we've got it. And then it dawns on you that what a massive, massive challenge we have here. Huge gathering. The previous experience we've got, that was the AU, wasn't it? So that's it. So you have a mixture of excitement, you feel the privilege, the prestige in hosting it, and then the apprehensive bit, how would it go? We hope it goes well. So I have this mixed feeling about it.
Well, the good thing about the OIC, is the networking part. There'll be a lot of businesses, a lot of opportunities. People will be meeting different people. The purpose of the OIC, it's not only to come and, meet, talk about things, but also for them to be able to interact with other people as well. People from different nations to be able to interact with the business community, to interact with Gambians, to know what can work here. Don't be surprised this meeting can yield other business avenues for the country as well. So I am excited, the networking. I mean, as you know, most of our youngsters are engaged in entrepreneurship, I mean, which will definitely go a long way in compensating what they are doing. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's take a look at current affairs as well. I know we're all excited about the OIC, but other things are happening in the low. So, you know, which among them has to do with this press release from the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology about changing the Gambia College into the university, into a university of education. You know, the Gambia College School of Education will now be changed into the University of the Gambia School of Education, you know, just like GTTI, USET, MDI, and the others. So, Mr. Mboj, what do you think of this, the fact that this transformation is also about to happen when it comes to acquiring education in the area of education?
Yes, it's important that we have universities.
Yes, now.
Absolutely, isn't it? That must be, we're not going to have much debate on that. But do you have the resources? Are you ready? A university is not simply a name. A university is not a building. A university is much more than that. Do you have the high quality lecturers? And, you know, there's just so much that must go into forming a university. So do we have all of that? We just don't want sort of like a superficial, you know, show of we've got this, we've got that. But what's about the learning outcomes? What quality of students are graduating from our school? So really one has to say that there are all sorts of things that we have to think about. We've seen recently how they've been turning these tertiary institutes into universities. So we'll see the outcome. But
Okay, so Ibrahim, I'm so glad about the questions that Mr. Mboj has put across, because all of these things need to be looked into. What happens to the HTC? What happens to the other elements that are at the Gambia College School of Education? And also understanding things when it comes to concepts even. Because in the Gambia here, community and when I say this, you can understand. Normally, when you don't have the required aggregate, you know, you are encouraged, oh, not them say college be. Because there's a concept
not a teacher.
Exactly, there's a concept that, you know, quality is not there. It's not just with the students, but also with the capacity that is supposed to teach these children, these students when it comes to the university level education.
Absolutely.
You know, not college level. All of those things, Mr. Mboj, I'm glad that you put that across. So I'm hopefully,
yes,
you know.
you know, the notion that most people have when it comes to the university level of education and the college level of education is totally different. I mean, I think people think the university education is more superior, to the college level. Like Janaba said, okay, go to the college and study PTC or HTC. You understand? But it takes a big deal, to transform the Gambia College to a university. Like you said, there are many elements that should be put into place for it to be transformed to a proper university. You know, university education is not like the primary or the high school education. The reason why you are graduating from the high school going to the university is because you have that confidence that you will be able to learn more. You will be able to think more. You will be able to get things that you did not learn from the high school. You understand? So I think it's not just a name, but it's the element. What is going to make it a university? What is going to make it different from all these colleges that we have? All these training institutions we have, in our buildings. So I think if they want to change, granted, but these elements too need to be put in place.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and sort of the societal biases and all the rest of it. I think the really key important concepts are really two. Let us make a distinction here between the academic, perhaps the sort of stuff that you will get to the university, and the vocational.
Yeah, these are completely
When you
different.
think about it, there's really no hierarchy. It's really a bias that would
It's a
allow us to
bias.
erect a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Because we are all intelligent differently.
I agree.
You
I
have
agree.
people who are brilliant with their hands
Yeah.
and they can do all sorts of things, and the academic ones are really useless at that. So both really ought to have respect.
I agree.
It's just that we inherited
That bias.
certain habits,
Yes.
you know, of thought, certain habits of thinking that was sort of privileged. Academic stuff over the practical,
Yeah,
engineering,
yeah.
physical,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
vocational stuff.
Yeah.
But now I think that attitudes are changing,
As-
gradual,
yes.
but they are changing. And we need this reorientation,
Yeah.
really. It is unfair.
It is very
to
unfair.
think that people who go for vocational training are not
Failed.
smart.
Yes,
That
or
is
they
not
failed.
true at all.
Yeah, and that
not
is,
true
but
at all.
it's changing actually. I think the changes came since 2017, 2016, when you know, the new dispensation came in and they came up with certain projects, you know, with development partners. That is when the change started to come. But when it comes to the Gambia College, there's just a lot of misconceptions surrounding it, and especially the teaching education as a field, where the belief is that the only thing you can become is a teacher when you study education. You know, all of those challenges are there. And another exciting news has to do with the shortlisting of 5 individuals for the position of head coach for our Scorpions. You know, since Tom Cienfed left after we did not make it, our performance was not good at the AFCON. We actually, during the group stages, we actually just dropped out, and he decided to resign. They're still, you know, trying to get a coach. But Mr. Mboj, you know, there's a lot of argument on the streets. Oh, it has to be a Gambian, or it has to be a foreigner. You know, does it really matter at the end of the day who this individual is going to be, or where the person is going to come from? Or is the person going to be English? Is the person going to be Gambian? You know, does that really matter to you, or what matters to you is a person who's going to come in and get the job done?
Yes, that's an interesting one. I know. I've been following the discussion. And the fact that Tom resigned, I think that was the decent thing to do, because it was a woeful tournament that we had. So this thing about homegrown or the foreigner, I mean, practically, if I'm being pragmatic, I want to get a coach who will win me games. That wouldn't depend on whether you're Gambian, it wouldn't depend on your nationality, it simply depends on your talents, what is it you can do. But again here, it's a matter of coaching the national side. Some sentimentality will come in. We have to learn to do things our own. I'll probably appoint a Gambian coach.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect much in the beginning. You'll probably have to go through a process of
problem
learning.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mboj,
you will.
yow xam nga loolu.
You will, yes.
Why
We all know
Gambian
that.
bi si biti loolu xamuñ loolu.
We all know that. Why? Also remember them. Even when I have a Gambian coach, we might have technical assistants who could be from wherever. While hang the symbolism of having that Gambian coach, that's something else. You know what I mean? So with me, this is really my stance. I would risk it. I go with a Gambian coach.
Okay.
I know very well that it will take time for him to learn. I mean, the international game is just so difficult. It's just completely different. But gradually, you learn to do things. I mean, Senegal have done quite well.
Well, I think I think, Mr. Mboj, I have a very different view from yours. I mean, you know, most of these nations, they, you know, appoint, I mean, foreign coaches, you know, for them to be able to change their games. I mean, okay, now a Gambian coach, there might be that kind of a sentiment, I mean, when it comes to picking and choosing who is to play. You know, because we know each other. We are living together. So the foreign coach might not understand, okay, who this person is. You know, all that he is after is who is going to deliver better. You understand?
Sentiments.
So most of the time, I mean, this have been dragging our football for many years. I mean, we've been having Gambian coaches for a very long time before the arrival of Tom. You understand? And, you know, we've never qualified for the AFCON. We've never even qualified for even local games. Sometimes we'll go and we are beaten and return home. So I think it doesn't matter whether it's a Gambian, although the Gambians will say now we need a Gambian coach. But the Gambian coach too, I think there will be that kind of a sentiment, because I know how Gambians behave. I know how we think. You understand? So for me, I prefer the foreign coach to the Gambian coach.
Okay, how would you respond to this argument? Somebody observed during AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire that the style of African play has completely changed. It's changing, it's extraordinary, it's more dynamic, it's more exciting now, yes? But again, they've also seen a drop in the number of the foreign coaches, mainly French actually, French, Belgian, that sort of thing, you know, the usual suspects coming over, changing, rotating all over the place. You see, so this is the dynamic. With the African coach, perhaps you really want to go out and play football. With the foreign coach, you are really being very careful. You are on a contract. It's all about the money. You don't really want to rock the boat. You would rather go and get a draw. It is for your CV. Yeah, so sports writers have been writing about this, especially after this past AFCON. So be careful there what you wish for. You know what I mean? We can't very well go for a foreign coach. You know, I'm not xenophobic in that sense. I'm just saying that, can we just risk it, learn to do things for ourselves? But again, in the beginning, you have to crawl, learn to walk before you run.
But
it's a long process.
I'm on 9 for a Gambian coaches.
I think when we started, since we started,
explain.
I pass
but what does that mean, though? It doesn't mean perhaps the one Kiko win, you know, in the future. The past, be careful with the past and learn life experience, but it's not an absolute guarantee, predictor of the future.
Well,
you know,
why the fact that we have tested it before,
like
you know, the fact that musn't go test.
Wow.
Anga budon musunyo am Gambian coach ever.
Bude bena salan ko test dohut ñu ne bena la. Why test nañ ko several times?
But what does that mean though? Test nañ ko dohut. Because really, when you think about it, appoint ma, then afterwards perhaps ma appoint la. Then afterwards, perhaps my appoint Ade. Why maybe it's my appoint Elijah Jallo would then make a difference. I cannot see how much more enough.
Or
how many more enough when you think about it. None, really, you do not know.
Well, I think the way we approach things as Gambians too, we always approach things with emotions.
Oh, don't be too hard on yourself.
Wow. So, I mean, it's not been hard.
You're hard on Gambians.
Wow, man, gis na time bu Tom boom deme AFCON bañ dem si quarter final si ak buñ deme Ivory Coast tam buñ performut, you know, reaction yi nit ñi déglu naa ko. You understand? Gis na nuñ doon react. So I think we are so emotional when it comes to certain things, which we need to change. There is nothing wrong appointing foreign coaches. You understand? Gambians are appointed as coaches too in other countries. So, you know, we just need to make sure we deliver. Because the incoming coach, he got a very big task on his shoulders. Because, I mean, now Gambia doesn't have to go for less than qualifying for AFCON. We want to win.
I'm not learning tamit luñ wara remember moy, aside from coach bi di ñew, excuse me, di am a huge task ahead of him, ndax tamit suñ federation bi, because am nga pour coach bi perform sa mun na mo fail sa bala ñoo aga sa pitch bi, based on currently suñ Gambia Football Federation bi tamit, you know, I'm not a sports journalist, but gis nañ on the table a lot of accusations yi nga xamne it's not confirmed, that is put on the FA when it comes to ñoom seen bopp how they manage things at that level. So reform sa su waree am sa coach bi dem na, but then internally, because gis nañ suñ boys yi before they left, some of the challenges that they had to go through. Their bonuses, bad aircraft. There's a lot of administrative problem when it comes to football si boppam bala ñoo aga si pitch bi. So even Gambian coach su ñëwee ñoom as the Gambia Football Federation defuñ lu leen war at their level, kooku do feel empowered pour dimbale boys.
Well, the only advantage bu ma gis ne when it is a Gambian coach mooy bu nekkee ne fédération bi deful lu ñu war a def moom he is a Gambian he knows what to do dina wax waaye maybe kële is going to be very careful ñallam wa because you know if they pay you they have the right to tell you what to say you understand so loolu xam naa loolu moom dafa mun a lifin why they also have a role to play
but don't feel that patriotism I think this is being emotional that's a very important emotion to have. Secondly, in international matches, it's essentially political. Matangari Gambia versus Senegal or Guinea. These are all political organizations. It's very much political in that sense. So to me, it is important. Earlier, emotional. But sports, football, is about passion. Anywhere in the world. This was what I meant by don't be hard on ourselves. We shouldn't be too hard on ourselves in many ways. Because Ningmel is just knit Ningmel. You see it all over the place. You know what I mean? By all means, there should be that self-criticism, but be careful. You know, don't start misnaming yourself. We've been doing it for a very long time. We are not this, we are not that. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hang on, too much negativity is dangerous, man. You cannot move forward. Only positive things, I think, can put a sort of peppy up for you to move. That's my suspicion. You know?
Subuguta behave because Gambian bitam dañ ko fay.
Then you bring somebody else. You keep on trying.
Wow, Subuguta behave, tam behave. Generally, administrative problem bitamit. Si biir Gambia, si federation bi nako guys sort out. Parce que allegations si amuñ si evidence. Waaye ñoom tamit joxoñ lañ leen fingers yu bari because AFCON bi dafa expose guys si lu bari.
A lot of it.
Li nga xam ne dañ si war a improve ñoomi neen.
I think ne gars dañ war a nekk on the game rek. ñu def comme yeneen dëkk yi because xam nga ñun suñ football bi warut a dellu gannaaw.
dafa yaaga dellu gannaaw.
dafa yaaga dellu gannaaw, okay? We don't care koo ñoo indil mu nekk coach. Waaye at the end of the time bu nekkee ne comme you are doing the right things at the right time ba pare yaa ngi spend suñ resources yi foo ko war a spend ñun even good training ground amuñ ko suñ boy si dañoo jógee fii dem Saudi or dem yeneen place pour train so that is not going to support
was part of the challenges
identified. It's not going to support our football loolu du support suñ football bi so I think ñun yëpp a war a try ñu collaborate ñu def liggéey bi
collective thing la
xam nga man nag how I would put it yéen dafa dellu gannaaw whatever wax yooyu man fi ma dooree perhaps in the 1980s bi ñoo dem zone 2 di dem finals so within our group tournament bi fi nekkoon we were doing very well amongst the best so daf dee peak and trough daf dee éega ka wàcca so su fekkee ne dama bëgg a am good examples of yi ñu def so the meaning ko fa gis was it 79 80 bi ñoo dem finals in zone 2 with Senegal nga yi nga gis di peaks def na yooyu su fekkee ne da nga bëgg a tam gis fu ñu humiliated defuñ nix
loolu nga gis
ni ko fa gis
di nga ko fa gis waaw
so it's not a single narrative normally dang they am many narratives maybe the secret is to hold them in balance pour mu am a good perspective of lan la doon yaa nga bëgguloo too much positivity yaa nga mel ni a naive optimist you don't want to be a naive optimist but again that kind of cynical pessimism I find that sort of disabling.
Wow, it's disabling, Mom, in some instances, if it's too extra. But just to remind you that our sponsors, Lido Coffee, Istanbul, am nañ fi Olinda Tea Bank fi, am nañ fi cow milk, fi mu nekk ni ku bugg a eew rek, suba bi nga eew sawar, da ngaa door si Lido Coffee bi. Lido Tea bi tamit mu ngi nii am na different varieties. Boo si def rek dina dox. Cow milk bi tamit healthy la def.
Waaw, saf na.
saf na
lool
waaw ku bugg a dóor sa cornflakes sa cuura gerte sa cere meew yaa xam boo si bugg a
jëna boo ponsé kaw milk bi
yëpp baax
jënda mburu rek def ko
Weetabix
bi te man Weetabix daf ma saf parce que dafa healthy nga dóor si rek am si sa bu baax so yii la ñu ngi leen di jaajëfal si seen partnership bi ak ñun comme ni ma ko waxee woon Lido Coffee tea baa ngi nii cow milk baa ngi nii mu mut sëkk ba pare OIC secrétariat bi tam gën ñoo dooleel ñoom tamit ba pare lu ma si gën a neex mooy Gambia dañoo nekk am chairman role bi for the next 3 years because liggéey bi amut fii rek dafa continuer liggéey bi sax mu ngi gën a métti for the next 3 years bi nga xam ne ñun ñu ngi jël seat bi foofu noonu di bokk si decision making process bi am na solo so we're just gonna go for a short break and when we come back the conversation will continue. Don't go anywhere.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And Ibrahima, we're here with Mr. Mboj. And discussions have been going on. And we're aware that the OIC Secretary General is due in Banjul today ahead of the 15th OIC Summit. So they're coming in gradually. They're coming in. And also Senegal has given the go-ahead, offers the Yoff Airport when it comes to the parking of planes for the OIC Banjul Summit. President Adama Barrow actually delegated the Foreign Minister Tangara to Senegal to meet Bassirou Diomaye Faye. That was last week ahead of the OIC. Kind of, you know, dem fa ñu jaamalante waxtaan. Xam nga?
Wow, ñu lifin.
When I saw that, I'm like, this is really good. Xam nga yo ñu ngi nekk neighbors mu yónni ko mu dem ñu waxtaan. And léegi de jox nañ ñu Yoff airport bi pour planes yi mun a park foofu noonu.
Xam nga te ñoom sa dañ am a pan-Africanist agenda.
Exactly.
You see, apart from all the history we have,
Wow.
ñoom dañ ñëw proactively, they say, with that pan-Africanist agenda.
Okay.
Obviously, so one should expect
So
this
Wow.
from that sort of
flights yi
thing.
dañoo ñëw wàccee gan yi ñu dem
Yoff.
park Sénégal.
dañoo planes yi ñooy park Yoff.
Waaw dañoo ñëw fii ñu wàccee.
ba pare ñu dem
Dem
park
park.
fa. suñ paree ñu ñëwaat.
To go now, Leopold Sedar Senghor Airport as well.
Wow.
I
Wow,
read
so
that.
Lola,
Because Gambia suñ parking bi is a problem.
well, we don't have the space.
Amuñ space
Although
bi.
we have, you know, we have among the longest runways
Wow.
in Africa. Why our
Parking.
airport space is very small. Why loolu moo tax nag léegi we need to focus on maybe seet naka la ñoo mun a amee another airport bu nekkee ne possible na or ñu seet nu ñoo expand. I can remember there was a time they wanted to expand, you know, to see that environment. How are they going to get more space? But it was very difficult because most of the people were residing in those areas. Some other times that they were demolishing some buildings, you know, within the airport premises, pour ñu muna am more space. Why it's still very difficult. Waxuma léegi, but in due course, maybe mun nañoo plan for an airport. I think the Gambia.
Dégg nañ fi beneen airport de.
The Sanyang Airport.
Wow.
Léegi dégg naa boobu tam gis naa ay nataal.
Man tam gis naa ay nataal.
Why? Man
nag ñu ne benn góor a ko operate waaye allegation la amuñ sa evidence.
ñu ne ay flight wàcce nañ fa.
Man tamit noonu.
ñaar ba ñetti flight dégg naa wàcce na fa. waaye nag man.
dañ ko dégg
bu ma ko déggee. as dangerous as it sound. waaye tam I was somehow welcoming the idea internally. Internally. waxuma ne pour mu nekk de. waaye
ruuma la nag.
because bugga naa dëkk bi am beneen airport. probably ñu def ko Basse. Understand? URR. At least mu am airport. You know, Basse am nañ ala bu rëy. ala bi dafa yaatu.
flight bi su fa wàccee ak borom daw ñaata awas balde.
waaw it
loolu convenient tut nag.
waaw bu nekkee sa lifin la bu nekkee.
really am na ni nga amee tali.
waaw.
good tali.
du nekk issue.
du nekk issue.
dafa mel ni Sénégal bi Istanbul soo wàccee seen airport bële. seen airport bu ees.
bu ees bi waaw.
soo fa wàccee li nga daw. pour dugg si dëkk bi. nga demoon by road from Gambia sa xagin.
so loolu la da ngaa gis ne. diggante yeneen dëkk ak seen airport bi dafa sori soo amee airport Basse we have the land we have the space suñ fa defee airport da ngaa gis ne nga jël moto rek ñëw provided am nañ transport system bu baax loolu sori wut.
Absolutely. Why at least for this event thank God ne am nañ a solution to the issue of ne suñ airport bi tuuti.
Wow.
So we've taken care of
that out. Wow.
That's it.
moo tax dañu war a try ñun as a nation ñun ak Sénégal yëpp ñu gën a maintain jaama bu nekk suñu diggante. because it's important. at some point waxoon nañ ko fii si election si Sénégal needs Gambia. Gambia need nañ Sénégal. ok at some point Sénégal foog ñu soxla ñu. ñun ñu soxla leen. fu mu nekk nii soxla nañ leen. bu nekkee relationship bi baaxutoon xam nga ne they will not dedicate their airport for us to use it. So moo tax jaama bi dafa war a dal at the end of time the peace is more important.
man daal dama dee feel ne Sénégal ak Gambia so there's no potential gisuma fa problème. ok
amuñ issues.
waaw comme ni ko nit ñi sometimes I feel like people make it jaama bi like I don't see a reason. okay issues happen. For example during the Casamance issue with Fonyi when the cells were landing in Gambian soil with Senegal, Casamance and everything. That was something you can point at to say it could cause a little bit of tension. But generally, duma fa gis potential bi man of an issue bi nga xamantene dafa tax mu affect both economies.
There is nothing.
Wow, there's just nothing. I think it's smooth.
So loolu la rek. Let's try we maintain that. You know,
So moving away, the Gambia Ports Authority also has announced that they will build a second lander bridge.
That's the Point newspaper.
That's the Point from the Point newspaper.
The Point newspaper.
Yes, a second lander bridge. Because hanga ñoom sa na waja utal wuja de.
Waaw loolu dégg naa ko.
confirm mu ko.
Dégg naa ko
waaye wax na ne am na wuja bu
mu ne am na ñu ngi sampa sax.
ñu ngi sampa
am na ñu sampa.
Sampa what?
am na ñu ngi lifin seen beneen ferry. It's more of a private.
It's more of the ferry.
Private ferry system.
Private ferry system.
Wow. So
because fii la nekk doo ko dee bàyyi xel sooy dem Banjul.
Boori Bon Road.
Boori waaw ñu ngi ko sampa.
They're building
Boori Ja Oil petrol station bi
Wow.
noonu. ñu ngi ko sampa in a way that xam nga su ko defee ñooñu tam su ñëwee ku nekk fu sa post toolu nga dem foofu.
Wow.
Gambia Ferry Services, the Ministry of Finance, dafa advise ne dina suitable pour ñu joxe ko ci li gars yi ooyee concession agreements pour PPP. xam nga ñoo ko war a run all over the world. When you look around the world, that's how it is being run. So obviously needing lots of private sector input. Absolutely. Dugga ci then you see the thing is guarding the agility. Why? It's easier to control.
It's
To
way
make the
easier.
private
Nga ko tefal ni
no,
togal
you
fi.
am agreement. You bind everything. You know what I mean? And you'll be there to make sure that you keep your end of the bargain, as it were. And there'll be penalties.
Exactly.
So the food, so the public sector, I don't know, they tend to be inefficient.
They tend to lose. Why Mamadou Lamine Choi maybe bala ñu teach at 10 rek su ko defee ñu mu update ñu lan moo fa nekk di xew. So Mamadou Lamine Choi, good morning.
Good morning, Janaba. It's a pleasure to be on this morning program this morning.
Yeah, so Choi, can you give us an update? Because today the Q Group chairman will officially hand over the vehicles for the OIC summit. How's the atmosphere there?
Thank you very much, viewers. You are watching us live at Makati Square, just next to the State House in Banjul, where His Excellency President Adama Barrow will soon arrive and will meet the Q Group chairman for a historic occasion, handing over of 89 vehicles. Of course, this is all part of a process towards Gambia's hosting of the OIC summit in 4 days' time, which will happen on the 4th to the 5th. Of course, conferences have already begun as we move towards that journey. But very important update here for people to understand is that what we are seeing behind me are vehicles, 89 vehicles that were procured by the Gambia government. But of course, it took a process of tender. We all know when it comes to public finance, everything has to follow due process. And as a result of that, on the 22nd of February, a public tender was opened, and ESPAS was among the 6 to 7 companies that bid for the procurement of this vehicle. And due to some considerations, procurement had to award the contract to ESPAS in the first week of March. And it, of course, is a very short period of time, given the number of vehicles for this thing to happen. And when the procurement was awarded to ESPAS, of course, they swung into action and did the necessary, logistic arrangement, contact their suppliers, and deliver, the vehicles as quickly as possible because they had no time to waste. So by 10 days ago, of course, 10 days ago, we had the first batch of vehicles that arrived, and the last one arrived on Sunday. And of course, the story behind this, is a story of success of a Gambian company because almost 6 to 7 companies bid during the tender, but this was awarded to ESPAS in a pre-finance arrangement. It's a public-private partnership between the Gambia government and the Q Group through ESPAS for this thing to happen today. 89 vehicles, and I've been speaking to one official who told me this is quite extraordinary in the history of the Gambia to deliver such amount of vehicle in a very short period of time, and it tells you that Gambian companies can do it. This is not the first time ESPAS has done it. This is one of several occasions when we have witnessed something like this. The KMC, ESPAS partnership yielded results. Of course, through the GTSC buses were delivered. Everything was successful, and once again, it has succeeded. ESPAS has proven beyond reasonable doubt that they can deliver, and it has happened. 89 vehicles, some of them VVIP, of course, which will carry heads of states. We also have SUVs, Mercedes, Parados. So these are highly expensive vehicles that the Gambia government, got through ESPAS Motors, which is also another success story of a public-private partnership. Janaba Sonko and Ibrahim.
Yeah, thank you so much for that brilliant update, Mamadou Lamin Choi. So I guess we'll just let you go now. You've actually just given us a very nice rundown of the contract award and all the details involved. Okay. So we'll just let you go, and hopefully we'll get to connect to you later again when the official handing over will be done between President Adama Barrow and the chairman of the Q Group. Thank you so much for that update. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, so Choi has given it to us nicely. You know, he talked about how there was a tender, you know, and out of seven companies, Espas Motors actually got it. They won the bidding process, and within a short period of time, from March to now April, they're able to deliver 89 vehicles, Parados, SUVs, and just everything is there, the VVIPs, cars and everything that is needed. And Choi also highlighted how this is a success for, you know, a Gambian business to be able to deliver something as quick. Mr. Mboj, it's important what you just talked about before Choi came in. You talked about how private sector is very, very effective and they're able to deliver. As long as there's a contract to say you have to deliver on this day, they will deliver on that day. No ifs and buts. And Espas was able to do that with this particular contract, you know, pre-finance for the Gambia government.
And that's the key, pre-finance.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. But again, Espas has been here for a long time.
Yeah.
The experience and all the rest of it. Oh, absolutely. This is a fantastic thing, really, because we were worried about that. You're going to have kings and presidents coming over. So they're used to certain standards.
Right.
So what quality vehicles, you know, are you going to have? Where would you have them from? Where would you get them from? So in many ways, I'm sure perhaps OIC would say, Mohammed, whoa, God sent,
yes.
as it were.
Well, for me, the point that Choi mentioned, I mean, it's at a very short period of time and we're able to bring all these vehicles here. I mean, that's important. I mean, to have that confidence in our Gambian-owned companies like the Q Group, you understand, the oil companies that belongs to Gambians. So I think the Q Group, Espas Motors, I mean, there is no doubt they are going to deliver. If you know how they operate, you must know once they say they're going to do a thing like this, it will always happen.
And I think, Ibrahim, what really caught my attention, Mr. Mboj, is the fact that there was no hand picking. It was advertised in the newspaper. We also went through a fair and square process. You know, it's not about because it's a Gambian company. Non-Gambian companies were also there, and it was just
seven
a
companies.
process. Yes, 7 companies, and proper procurement rules were also followed to ensure that we actually won the bidding. Espas won the bidding.
But this is what I was talking about earlier on. I mean, Bale, I'm surprised that what you've just said, that you would prefer a foreign coach for our national team. You see the idea of the Gambianness, the Gambian doing
Makes
it.
sense.
This is really what I meant by you have to learn to do things for yourself. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult at first, but sooner or later, you know, you'll get there. It's just like a newborn baby learning to crawl and then walk, and sooner or later you see them running.
Yeah.
So there has to be that element, really, you know, relying too much on others. That is not good at all. So one is proud of this, obviously, and then you also hope that it will inspire others.
Yes.
You see, that aspect is important.
Jenna, but I think at the end of the OIC, you might be getting
maybe chairman
Why mo fogg ne suñu den government ñoko mom
ñun dañoo ne suñ private one bu ñoo jëndal la ñoo
ñun daal dañ bëggoon mu indil ñu bu mel nii yu mel nii Jenna ba
jox la benn jox ma benn
waaw
ci ñooy nice
yu VVIP ñun moto VVIP lañ war a dawal
lan deserve sax
waaw di
Mr. Mboj mi sax buñ ko tegalee si yu emi
so bëgg nañ chairman
xanaa dafa ànd ak driver man I don't drive
waaw ñu jox la driver
dañ la jox driver suba
dañ laa jox driver
waaw
dañ laa jox driver mu laa drive
waaw waaye definitely it's
yow soo solee bi ba def sa dark glasses yi nga dee am
boy ba lifin dañ bëggoon nu ko espace indie mu indil yu mel noonu daal lu noonu
well, Mr. Mboj, we have just 2 minutes to go. But thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's always good to have you here. We love having you here.
The pleasure was absolutely.
Hanga bari problem.
Hanga man ma balle.
Wow, mam la la.
Mam la ma def.
Tumara ki dad la.
But that's it.
Yeah, so those are the cars that, you know, the chairman of the Q Group will be handing over to President Adama Barrow for the OIC summit. But Mamadou Lamin Choi is there, and he'll be giving you live updates. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. He'll be giving you live updates as to the happenings there. Once again, Lido Tea, Cow Milk, Olinda Tea, we love you so much.
And the OIC.
It's the best. And the OIC Secretariat, thank you so much.
Jenaba so teje.
Wow, then you take
No, so teje.
Wow.
La jila. No, so teje wisuma ki happy birthday namade. Fantasy soho.
Wow.
Fantasy soho, Seri Musa si soho. Mangla wish happy birthday. Happy birthday to Fantasy soho, the Seri Coco of Musa Sisoho.
Mr. Mboj, naka lay def ak kii.
Happy birthday, baby.
Mr. Mboj.
Di ko muñal rek.
Dama ko
I
muñal.
suppose.
Well, inshallah, be ëllëg inshallah on another this morning program. But ahead of that, let's all, you know, gear up ahead of the OIC, prepare a flag la that nga génn ci tali bi wave ahead of state or whatever. Let us make sure that ñun ñëpp ñu involve in one way or the other, because this is historic, and comme ni nga ko waxee benn bés dinañ teg suñ city di leen ko label ne fekkee woon nañ OIC summit. So in whatever way that you can be involved because it counts. Every involvement counts.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace, and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture, and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make